Yeah, we're out of control, man. This thing is, we're $34 trillion in debt. And how do you take in $5 trillion and spend $7 trillion and go home and tell your constituents you're doing the right thing? It's completely out of control. We just left a Foreign Affairs Committee meeting, and we found out our own State Department knew that American tax dollars were going to Afghanistan, and 12.1 million that we found so far. Just a quick survey of 30-something NGOs, non-government organizations, $12.1 million is going to the Taliban. I mean, dadgummit. You just look everywhere. I wish you all would quit calling this the swamp. Swamp is something that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool situation. It's a cool ecosystem. We're in an open sewer. Everything's flowing in and nothing's flowing out. And that's what's going on with Washington right now. You got people that, and yeah, they're going to go home and say, man, we're going to get tough on that UN. We'll defund the UN or something bogus like that. And then y'all will reelect them. And then they come back down here and then they start drinking the water once again, playing with the lobbyists. And then we're back, here we are, $36 trillion in debt. It never ends. Folks, get off your butt on election day. 10 million so-called conservatives decided to stay home. That's why we got a guy in the White House who can't find the soft serve ice cream machine, and is not even. We got the head guy at the Pentagon. He's not there for a week. He's in the dadgum hospital. They don't know it. Yeah. There's a bag of Coke. Nobody knew. Yeah, allegedly, because the Pentagon runs the show. The Pentagon we've audited, and the history of audits have never passed an audit. They have lost, by their own admission, over $500 billion. And then what did we do? We give them 30 billion more in this budget to punish them, I guess.
That's the thing.
That's the kind of thing that we've got to get better. We've got to do better. You've got to hold our people. We've got to hold people accountable.
But Congressman, what do you say to some of your colleagues who have come on this show before, and I've pressed them on it, and they say like, "Well, Carl, hold on, it's a little bit more complicated than that." I'm like, why is it more complicated?
No. It's not more complicated. We're taking in $5 trillion. We're spending $7 trillion. Just go back under pre-COVID spending levels, for goodness sakes. What has been added to this miserable budget that you cannot live without? That's been added since since COVID came on the scene. I dare say nothing that you couldn't live without. But it would balance our budget, and that's just how much the economy has grown, even under this White House. So we've got to, we've got to address it. We've got to get tough. We got to quit with the gimmicks and just say enough is enough. No more spending. I've said, no border, no budget.
Yeah,
can't keep it up.
100%.
Here we are, we're paying $400 billion a year to take care of these people in this country. We're kicking veterans out of nursing homes. Hell, up in New York City, they're kicking people out of schools so they can, they're going to send them home, which we found out under COVID is a terrible idea to educate it through the computer at home.
And then the teachers didn't even show up yesterday, too. So, I mean, you guys, real quick, Nancy Pelosi, this is one woman I'm sure you get along great with, but this is her lying as usual. Get a load of this.
The president has put forth over $10 billion to assist at the border. We've always been for controlling our border, for securing the border. There's never been a question about that.
Yeah, there is a question about that, sir.
Yeah, well, I want to tell you something. This is the weird situation. You've got these hard lefties they want to saturate the country with these people. And, they're getting them in the system and they'll end up voting. But the reality is it's our national chambers of commerce that have squashed most of these programs that we would have stopped this kind of nonsense. Because what are they getting? They're getting free or cheap labor. And listen, it's portfolio over people. And that's what these folks do. They're the ones when the president comes to town, you always say, who's that out on the tarmac shaking his hands? I guarantee it's not you and it's not me. It's one of these cats, and they're part of the uniparty. They write the big checks. It doesn't matter what party they're in. They always seem to be getting rich off the deal, and this is one of those deals. Shame on this country. Over 100,000 kids are lost in this system somewhere, and God will have an awful vengeance on us if I think it's what's going on with a bunch of them right now. And this country's going to suffer it. And dadgummit, we deserve it because we've allowed this. 8 million people have come over in the last 3 years that we admit, plus the getaways, then the hundreds that are on the terrorist watch list.